Namatame-san, there's something we'd like to ask you. It's tempting to think that you were the culprit behind this entire case. And to be honest, there are many in this town who hope you are. But we are here to learn the truth. So please, answer our questions.
Armed, what do you mean? I don't understand your sentence.
Huh?
It seems that he understands what you're saying. Well, that's a good first step. What should you ask him? I'm pretty sure chat told me that there were no bad ending dialogue options until December 5th, so I guess I can pick whatever I want here. I want to know, this is all I need to know. Who was the first person you threw into the TV? If he says Yukiko, then that means the original killer put in Saki-senpai and Miss Yamano. If he says Saki-senpai, that means that the original killer threw in Miss Yamano. If he says anything other than Miss Yamano, that proves there is another killer. The guy said he was going to record the interrogation? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't understand what point you're trying to get across.
Huh? Me?
I knew it! He threw it! Dude, I actually called it. Let's go. What should you ask him? Oh, I just get to ask him all of the questions. Is saving killing people?
No. If nobody saves them, they'll be killed. That's why I put them in there.
If Adachi is the killer, he would know you know? Yeah, I get that. Armed, I think I'm missing something here. I don't understand why you brought up things that I already know and understand. What should you ask him? Well, it's really spoiled for choice here.
They were killed. I couldn't save them.
Then tell me if my estimation is correct so far. After discovering the Yamano and Konishi incidents, you realized an appearance on the Midnight Channel meant certain death. Thus, to save her from that fate, you kidnapped Yukiko Amagi.
That's why they needed to get the guard to go away? Yeah, I mean, I still know.
You couldn't let her be killed, so you threw her into the TV, preventing the killer in this world from reaching her.
Did I say that I didn't know why they sent the guard away? I don't remember saying that. If I did. I know why they sent the guard away. It's because they didn't want the guard to hear about them talking about the TV world.
And you repeated the process, as more individuals appeared on the Midnight Channel. It all falls into place. His body is weak, but his mind is sound. He's trying to tell us the truth.
Yeah, but if the stuff he's saying is true...
There's another killer who murdered the first two victims?
Who could have possibly called it?
Indulge us in a few more questions.
I love questions. What should you ask him? I assume that I just get to pick them all again. But in case I only get one, I'm gonna say, why did you enter the TV? Because I actually don't know why.
I didn't know. I never thought it would be that kind of place.
Okay. Why the warning letters that I don't think you wrote?
What are you talking about?
Silver Spectre, thank you for following. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Any future ones you come to.
What are you talking about?
Alright, that all adds up with everything that I've said so far. Who killed the first two, do you know?
I have no idea. I want to know that too.
So it all perfectly links up with what I originally thought.
As I thought.
You believe me?
Yeah, I believe you. Why not?
Did they find him? Did they find the one who did such cruel things? Mayumi.
Please calm down. Our ability to find the culprit rests on you. We know about the other world. In fact, we're the only ones who can fully understand what you have to say.
Only you?
We did blame you for everything at first,
But some of us blamed you.
but now I think we can accept whatever you got to tell us as truth.
Please, tell us everything you can, calmly and slowly.
You're willing to listen? Do my story? All right. Soon after my affair with Mayumi became common knowledge, I returned to my parents' home, as if to run away from the scandal. And I started drinking heavily to drown my anxieties.
This is getting way too real.
I hadn't been able to reach Mayumi at all, and that didn't help either. Mayumi, where are you? She'd been disgraced on all the afternoon shows, and forced to resign from the program she was on. I caused her so much trouble. I wanted to at least apologize to her, but I couldn't even do that. I lost the will and energy to do anything. Then, one day, the rumor I heard some time ago came back to me. Since I had nothing better to do, I sat down blankly in front of the TV and watched my own reflection. And all of a sudden, there was Mayumi. Mayumi? Is that you? The Mayumi inside the TV looked as if she was calling to me for help. Mayumi? Mayumi! When I reached out unthinkingly to touch her, my arm disappeared into the TV, as if I had dipped it into a pool of water. I was so shocked that I lost my balance and nearly fell face first into the TV.
Yo, but where is Teddie?
I was so scared. I couldn't understand what just happened. I thought maybe I'd gone insane. In the end, I decided to think of it as just a dream, and I went back to the city the next day after finishing work. The next afternoon when I got to work, I was fired on the spot, as I expected. That wasn't what broke me, though. It was Mayumi being found dead.
Just got a sub, I think? Oh, no, mini subs have been gifted, actually. Ah, yeah, okay. We're gonna have to wait a minute for this sound effect to go through 4 times. Lone Wolf, thank you so much for gifting 4 tier 1 subs to viewers in the chat. Thank you so much, man. I greatly appreciate it. Ah, there's number 3. Who got the subs? MacMan0, Bread and Pudding Man, Flameslinger, and Grim Mail. I think it's how I say that last one's name. But I hope you all enjoy your tier 1 subs gifted from Ye Olden Lone Wolf. That means for a month you have no ads when watching my stream, as well as the Rayquaza sub badge and the 5 tier 1 emotes. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you again, Lone Wolf, for the gift subs.
That wasn't what broke me, though. It was Mayumi being found dead. And not just that, but it had happened in my hometown.
Namatame is casting his eyes downward painfully.
I was dumbstruck. But later on, I remember the image of Mayumi I'd seen that night. Was it not a dream? Could it really have been an SOS from Mayumi? I hadn't touched another TV because the first time was so terrifying, but I decided to try it again. And I confirmed that none of it was a dream. So that image, was it something Mayumi showed me, calling for help? That's how I felt.
And eventually, you learned of the Midnight Channel.
He's become insanely lucid upon telling this story.
I remembered that when Mayumi was alive, she was chasing a rumor about some bizarre TV program. I'd heard about it before, but I thought it was just an urban legend. But then Mayumi appeared on it, and later turned up dead. The more I thought about it, the harder it became to believe that the two events were unrelated. Soon after that, I came back to Inaba to answer the police's questions. I'd lost my job, and I wanted to know the truth of Mayumi's death for myself. Then, on another rainy night, someone else appeared on the Midnight Channel. It was a girl. She looked like she was calling for help, just like Mayumi. The first thing that came into my mind was, maybe this girl will be the next to die.
And that was Saki-senpai.
I'd been following all the news about Mayumi, so I noticed right away that she was the girl who found Mayumi's body. And if my hunch was right, she'd be the next victim. I didn't want her to die the way Mayumi did, so I desperately kept watching. I was consumed with the idea of rescuing her. Then, little by little, her image on the screen came into sharper focus.
It became sharper?
How did you find out it was her?
After I came back, my father couldn't bear to see me in such low spirits, and gave me a job with the family business. I met that girl when I delivered a package to the liquor store. After agonizing over it, I decided to meet her, and told her to be careful. But that same night, on the TV, she looked as if she was being engulfed by some black shape. She was writhing in pain. That's why I warned her. Why won't she pick up the phone? Come on, please! The next day, they found her dead. I knew she was gonna be murdered, but I couldn't save her. I blamed myself, thinking there must have been something I could have done. There was no one who depended on me. Nobody at work, not even my wife.
Man, they have really, incredibly well, in a well fashion, I don't know how to say the words, turned Namatame into a very, sympathetic character. I'm impressed with the writing of this moment, to be honest.
Mayumi was the only one who accepted me for who I was. But she was murdered, and the same person killed another girl. I was beside myself. I couldn't forgive myself for doing nothing.
You really did love Miss Yamano.
Yes, from the bottom of my heart. Before I was married, my wife made it big in show business. I was happy for her, but it put a strain on our relationship.
I think I can kind of relate.
It was around that time when I met Mayumi. She was interviewing our candidate for the next election. She was a big-name announcer, but she only worked with local stations, and her attitude towards work was similar to mine. We both came from Inaba, so she was easy to talk to. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help getting intimate with her. She gave meaning to my life. Soon after Saki-san was found dead, yet another girl appeared on TV. That was you. She'll be kidnapped next, and murdered. I can't let her end up like Mayumi and that other girl. This time, I'm gonna do something.
I'm gonna throw her in the television, that'll do it!
My opponent was a murderer who left no clues to his identity. I thought hard about what I could do to protect her from someone like that. I'll never convince her. If she gets suspicious and they arrest me, who'll save her then? The girl inside the TV looked as if she was smiling at me. And that's when it hit me. I apparently had the power to go through the TV screen to the other side. Then, what if I put her into the TV and give her shelter there before the killer gets her? What are you trying to tell me? That it's safe over there? Is that it? The girl inside the TV seemed to smile at me again. And I thought, no matter what kind of place it might be, it's better than being slaughtered. Once things calm down, I could just let her out again. If she's inside the TV, there's no way they can find her. It felt as if everything was starting to come together in my mind. Could it be that Mayumi gave me that power to prevent any more victims from meeting her fate? Was it my mission to save people? But there was a big problem. If I explained the situation to the victim, they wouldn't understand. I had already tried that and failed miserably. It seemed the only thing I could do was to take them away. If that was my mission, I'd just have to do it. Or so I thought. Mayumi, please lend me your strength.
So, since you thought people who appeared on the Midnight Channel would be killed, you kidnapped us in order to save us.
Mission? Give me a break! You never stopped and wondered about any of this?
I thought I was the only one who could help them. I did call the police, but they didn't believe me. I knew the area well, thanks to my job. I had a large truck, and I could move around without suspicion. I thought my job as a delivery man would be the perfect cover for my mission. I thought no one else could do it. But are you telling me that I wasn't saving them?
To be honest, I'm with Namatame here. Like, to be real with you, I think Namatame was honestly in the right. Obviously, he didn't know it, but Yukiko would have died if we hadn't saved her. But he thought that he was saving them, and he had reason to believe it because Yukiko was saved. If Yukiko had died after he put her in the TV, I'm sure he would have been like, whoa, that's not the right thing to do, and then he would have stopped doing it. But since putting Yukiko in did save her that one time, rather it was by Namatame's hand or not, Namatame thought, like, it works, I gotta do it every time now. So, you know, I totally see where Namatame is coming from. I think he, with all of the information he had and what he came up with, I think he did the best he could. I still don't really understand why his shadow was, like, insane and merged with him and became a demon, but, you know, whatever.
If a person is still within the TV world when the fog appears here, they will die. Beginning with Yukiko-san, the people you thought you had been saving were, in fact, in mortal peril. It was my friends here who really saved us all.
I had a feeling that was it. When I went after that little girl and entered the TV myself, for the first time, I had some doubts about myself.
You refer to Nanako-chan, correct?
The police were after me, so I had to get away. But I still felt I needed to do everything I could to save that poor little girl. That's why I went in after her. But the TV world was completely different than I imagined. Such an abominable, grotesque place.
Nanako's version of the TV world actually looked better than, like, all of the others that were way more horrifying, namely Kanji and Rize's.
I knew that the three of you who I saved went back to your normal lives, so I didn't realize how terrible that world was. I never knew you couldn't even get out of that place on your own.
Wait a second. Wait a second. The three of you who I saved. Three? That should be 4. Yukiko, Kanji, Rize, Naoto. That's 4. Why did you say 3? Hold up. Now I'm a little confused. Did the original killer put Naoto in the TV world?
No. That's a cowardly way to put it.
I'd probably already begun to realize that it was a dangerous place. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gone to see you all.
See us? Wait, are you talking about the concert we did at Juness?
Yes. I wanted to know why the ones I saved were all hanging out with each other, and how much you remembered.
Probably just a script error? Probably. Otherwise, that's, like, it's either a script error, or I'm amazed at how dumb Naoto is not to be questioning it.
But in the end, I couldn't bring myself to say anything and ran home. I must have felt too guilty.
I didn't even notice that he said 3, to be honest, and I've played the game 6 times. It's probably just a translation error, then. Or, like, a mistake in, I don't know. They just made a mistake when they were doing the math.
But all the doubts and anxieties I'd been unconsciously suppressing exploded out when I entered the television myself.
This is the same man who the other day was just saying, I saved them, while, like, shaking on the floor, holding his head. It is insane how lucid he's become.
I thought I was going insane. I probably did. And you know the rest. When I came to, I was lying in a hospital bed.
You really were trying to save people.
But I ended up doing just the opposite. What a fool. I always wanted to enter the world of politics and become useful to society. But after losing my job and the woman I loved, all I had left was this power. I convinced myself that world was some sort of sanctuary, and I secretly believed myself to be a hero.
Atlas just wanted us to forget that Kanji's shadow was a thing, so they only said 3. I believe it.
I never doubted what I saw on TV, and believed everything was as I wanted it to be. I didn't think for myself at all. That's why I couldn't protect them. I'm to blame for all of this.
I don't think it's unforgivable. I don't think it's unforgivable. He had the best of intentions, and I'm sure that if Yukiko had died, he would have immediately stopped. So, I mean, like, the main thing is the fact that Yukiko was saved. The fact that he did it once, and then it was like, oh, they were saved, I probably would have come to the same conclusion, like, I saved them by doing this. I'm going to keep doing it to save their lives. So, you know, what's done is done. I don't think it's unforgivable at all. Honestly, I think Namatame is, like, overall, you know, he did cheat on his wife, now I think about it. It's a pretty dick move. But in terms of being a murderer, he hasn't killed anyone. No one that he's kidnapped has died. He's a kidnapper at worst, and he kidnapped under good intentions, so, you know. I give him the pass. What's done is done. What will be, as Zelos always says.
I suppose so. But the things I've done are too serious to be brushed aside like that. I have no intentions of running away from my crimes. I'm prepared to face the consequences.
I mean, the consequences, the words, I can't talk. Your crimes are, like, kidnapping and then freely releasing them after kidnapping them for, like, 3 days? I mean, it's bad, but I don't know. It doesn't seem that insane, especially if the people who are kidnapped forgive you.
Kidnapping is already a serious crime. And on top of that, I put all those lives in danger.
I guess you did put them in danger. That's a fair point.
I'm sorry.
The Midnight Channel and the other world, you can hardly be blamed for failing to understand them properly.
Yeah, I agree with that, basically. Dude, putting this onto YouTube is gonna be such a pain, like, rendering these out. It's gonna be just like when they did the whole interrogation room shooting scene in Persona 5, where I was just like, oh, great, there's like an hour and a half of cutscenes, and I somehow have to, like, split them into 4 videos.